Yo, the worst truth or dare deaths ever, man. Let's get straight to it.
If you dare. On May
Merry
24th,
Christmas Eve, man.
2023, just days after graduating high
Y'all
school,
thought I wasn't gonna
18-year-old
upload.
Cameron
Look,
Robbins
y'all
from
thought I wasn't
Baton
gonna
Rouge,
upload today,
Louisiana,
huh?
was
Nah,
celebrating with
I ain't
several
going.
hundred classmates on a trip to the Bahamas.
Every day.
They were staying at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort in Nassau. That evening, the group attended a sunset party cruise aboard Blackbeard's Revenge, a pirate-themed party boat.
Finna drop
Around
a couple
9:40
presents on
p.m.,
man. Let
near
me
the
lock in, bro.
uninhabited Athol Island northeast of Nassau, someone dared Cameron to jump off the boat into the dark ocean. Several students tried to grab him and stop him. They
And he
reached for
did
him,
it?
attempting to hold him back, but Cameron broke free from their grip. He jumped into the water. Footage captured the aftermath. Cameron could be seen swimming in the dark waters. Friends threw a life preserver
Be so fucking for real, bro.
toward him. People screamed,
What
"Grab
you
the
expect
buoy!
to happen, bro?
Hey, the buoy!" They were trying desperately to direct him to the flotation device, but Cameron appeared to swim away from it. Within seconds, he vanished from view. The boat remained anchored for hours as students searched frantically. The U.S. Coast Guard, Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and United Cajun Navy searched the waters until about 3 a.m.
Bro, this dude had everybody on planet Earth looking for him because he wanted to do some stupid shit, bro.
Royal
RP this
Bahamas
guy, man.
Defense Force Commodore Raymond King called the area really shark-infested. He said, "The probability of survival decreases significantly, particularly if a person did not have on a life vest, and particularly if a person is perceived to be intoxicated." The search covered 325
Bro, he cooked. He cooked. Oh.
miles over 2 days.
Bro.
On May 27th, authorities called off the search. Cameron Robbins was officially designated lost at sea. His body was never recovered. A memorial service was held at Broadmoor United
Damn,
Methodist
man,
Church in Baton
'cause you wanna
Rouge.
do some
Cameron was
stupid
described
shit,
by his
bro.
baseball coach as a fierce competitor and by his family as funny and kind-hearted. My darkest
Rest in
secret.
peace, Cam.
On May 28th, 2018, in the early hours of the morning, a neighbor looked out her window in Heysham, Lancashire, and saw flames at
Ooh.
94-year-old Mary Gregory's bungalow. Firefighters rushed to the scene and found Mrs. Gregory unconscious in the conservatory, suffering from smoke inhalation. She was treated by paramedics and rushed to Royal Lancaster Hospital, but died 4 days later. An
Rest in peace,
investigation
Mary,
by
bro.
Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service concluded the most probable cause was a dropped or carelessly discarded cigarette. Mrs. Gregory was a heavy smoker with
Hey,
dementia.
man.
The coroner
We gotta stop smoking them cancer sticks, bro. I know she was a little older, bro, or a lot older, but I'm so glad our generation made that cigarette smoking go down, bro.
recorded a verdict of accidental death. The case
Nothing
was
good come
closed.
from that shit,
Then,
bro, at all.
weeks after the funeral, during a game of Truth or Dare with two friends, 17-year-old Tiernan Darnton revealed his darkest secret. He told them, "I have a secret I haven't told anyone. I may have killed someone." His friends didn't believe him. He persuaded them to keep quiet. But in May 2019, during a counseling session, Darnton mentioned a friend who could send me to prison cause of what he knows. He added that he had felt powerful at Mrs. Gregory's funeral because he knew what had happened and everyone else in the room didn't. The counselor ended the session by saying, "I think you're trying to tell me you've killed someone." Darnton mouthed, "Yes." Police reopened the case. They discovered drawings
Wait,
of Mrs.
he did
Gregory's
it?
floor plan with labels like "good hiding place" and "quick exit." Evidence showed he had set the curtains on fire with a lighter, unplugged the phone, disabled a smoke alarm, and placed a table in front of the conservatory.
Bro, this ain't no dare. He a murderer. What? Bro, I don't even know, bro. Throw this nigga in Afghanistan, bro. This ain't no dare, bro. What?
Doors to
He
block her
killed that
escape.
lady.
Investigators found disturbing searches under 18 murder and how long do murderers serve in prison. In November 2021, Darnton was convicted of murder and sentenced to life with a minimum of 15 years. The bridge incident. On a
Fuck
summer
you, bro.
day in
Rest in peace, Mary,
2024, two teenagers, ages 15 and 16, were part of a group chat where dares were being shared among friends. The conversation turned to jumping off a bridge into Lake Hartwell, South Carolina. The pressure mounted through messages. Other teens egged them on. The two decided to go through with it. They drove to the bridge and climbed onto the railing. The drop to the water below was significant. Without hesitation, both teens jumped. They plunged into Lake Hartwell. Friends watching from the shore expected to see them surface. Seconds passed, then minutes. Neither came back up. Emergency services were called immediately. Dive teams searched the lake. Eventually, both bodies were recovered. Neither teen had made it back to shore. The local community was devastated. Candlelight vigils were held. Parents gathered, holding candles and photographs of the two teenagers. Flowers and messages were left at the bridge. In the days that followed, Parents across the community warned about peer pressure games spreading through social media. The group chat that had contained the dare was examined by authorities. Friends who had participated in encouraging the jump were left traumatized. Counselors were brought into local schools. The deaths sparked conversations about the deadly consequences of online dares. The bridge where the teenagers jumped became a memorial site.
Bro, I'm not
Parents begged
understanding
other
how this a
teenagers to
dare,
think
though,
before
bro.
accepting
Like,
dangerous dares, no matter how much pressure they felt from their peers. The community mourned 2 young lives lost to a moment of reckless
rest in
decision-making.
peace, these people.
The
bro.
boiling water incident. On March 22, 2017, in Florida, 8-year-old Kihari Pope was at a sleepover with her cousin and friends. The children decided to play Truth or Dare. The game started innocently enough. Then, someone dared Kihari to drink boiling water through a straw. The other children thought it would be funny to see if she would actually do it. Kihari accepted the dare. She put the straw to her lips and drank the scalding liquid. Immediately, she began screaming in agony. The boiling water burned her mouth, throat, and lungs. She collapsed. The adults rushed her to the hospital. Doctors discovered she had suffered severe internal burns to her throat and respiratory system. Kihari was placed in intensive care. She underwent multiple surgeries. For months, she lived with severe complications from the burns. Her airway was damaged. She struggled to breathe. The internal injuries were catastrophic.
That shit's
Despite the medical
stupid,
team's
bro.
efforts, Kihari's condition continued to deteriorate. The damage to her throat and lungs was too extensive. Eventually, 4 months later, she died from the injuries sustained from drinking
in
the
peace,
boiling
Kiari,
water.
bro.
The case
Or
shocked the
Kiari,
nation.
bro.
Parents were
Sad,
horrified
bro.
that such a
However you
simple
pronounce her
dare
name,
could
bro.
result in death. Warning messages spread across social media about the deadly risks of dares among children. Kihari's family spoke out, hoping to prevent other children from accepting dangerous dares. Her death became a cautionary tale in schools across the country. The children who had dared her to drink the boiling water were left traumatized by what had happened. Kihari Pope was just 8 years old. The slug incident. On a warm evening in 2010, 19-year-old Sam
Rest in
Ballard
peace,
was at a
bro.
party in Sydney, Australia, with his rugby teammates. They were drinking wine in a backyard. The conversation was lighthearted. Then someone spotted a garden slug crawling across the patio. As a joke, one of Sam's friends dared him to swallow it. Everyone laughed. It seemed like harmless fun. Sam picked up the slug and swallowed it whole. Everyone cheered. The party
Bro, you can't unstupid some of these motherfuckers, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. This is just crazy.
continued.
Bro was
Sam
19?
went home that night thinking nothing of it. Days passed. Then Sam began feeling
Back, bro.
strange. He developed severe pain in his legs. Within weeks, he could barely walk. He went to the hospital. Doctors discovered the slug had carried rat lungworm parasites. The parasites had infected Sam's brain, causing a severe infection called eosinophilic meningoencephalitis. Sam fell into a coma for 420 days.
Ain't no
When he
motherfucking
finally
slug
woke
at
up,
19,
he was
bro.
paralyzed from the neck down. The infection had left him a quadriplegic. He couldn't walk, couldn't feed himself, couldn't breathe without assistance. For 8 years, Sam lived with severe disabilities,
Damn,
requiring
man.
around-the-clock care. His mother became his full-time caregiver. Sam's friends were devastated by what their dare had caused. In 2018, 8 years after swallowing the slug, Sam Ballard died from complications related to the infection. He was 28 years old. His death highlighted the hidden dangers that can lurk in seemingly innocent dares. Sam's friends carried the weight of what had happened for the rest of their lives. The fireworks
Rest
incident.
in peace,
On
Sam,
October
bro.
24th, 2024, during Diwali celebrations in Bengaluru, India, a group of friends gathered to celebrate the Festival of Lights. Fireworks were everywhere. The night air was filled with explosions and colorful displays. The men had been drinking, and the atmosphere was festive and reckless. Someone brought out a large box of fireworks and suggested a dare. They challenged a 32-year-old man in the group to sit on top of the box while they lit the fuses. Friends laughed and egged him on. The man, emboldened by alcohol and peer pressure, agreed. He climbed onto the box and sat down. His friends lit the fireworks. For a moment, nothing happened.
Bro, is we getting stupider and I'm spitting and stuff, man? Are we getting dumber and dumber, bro? What is this?
Then the entire box exploded beneath him. The force of the blast was catastrophic. The man was thrown into the air. The explosives detonated with tremendous power, causing fatal injuries. Friends screamed and rushed to help,
This shit
but it was
retarded,
too
bro. I
late.
ain't gonna lie.
Emergency services arrived quickly, but the man died at the scene from his injuries. Witnesses told police it had been part of a dare.
Damn,
The case
man, what
received
the fuck,
widespread
bro?
coverage across India. News outlets showed footage of the aftermath, warning others about the dangers of combining alcohol, fireworks, and peer pressure. The man's family was left to mourn a senseless death. His friends who had encouraged the dare were left traumatized and guilt-ridden. Authorities used the incident as a warning during future Diwali celebrations. Senior assassin incident. On a
Rest
day in
peace,
May
that guy, man.
2025, high school seniors in Arlington, Texas, were participating in Senior Assassin, a popular end-of-school
Bro,
tradition.
I remember
The
that,
game
bro.
involves students chasing each other with water guns, trying to eliminate opponents. It's meant to be harmless fun,
All
a
right.
way for graduating seniors
How
to
did
bond
this lead
before
to
heading to
death,
college.
bro? What?
Players track each other's locations and stage surprise attacks. That afternoon, 17-year-old Isaac Leal was participating in the game with friends. They had spotted their target and began pursuit in a Jeep. The chase intensified. The vehicle accelerated through streets. The adrenaline was high. The teenagers were laughing and yelling, caught up in the excitement of the game. As the pursuit continued, Isaac climbed onto the back of the moving Jeep. He was trying to get a better position during the chase. Friends later said he was riding on the exterior of the vehicle. Then the Jeep hit a bump in the road.
Oh,
Isaac lost his grip and fell from the moving vehicle onto the street.
yo,
His head hit
it's
the
like
pavement
this
with
shit
devastating force.
progressively get
The Jeep
worse,
screeched
bro.
to a
Like,
halt. Friends jumped out,
how
screaming.
dumb can you
Someone
be,
called
man?
emergency services. Isaac was rushed to the hospital with catastrophic head injuries. For weeks, he remained in intensive care, clinging to life. Doctors did everything they could. His family kept vigil at his bedside,
Bro,
but
this
the
video
injuries were
pissed
too
me off,
severe.
bro.
In early June 2025, after weeks in the hospital, Isaac Leal died from his injuries. Investigators confirmed the death occurred during the Senior Assassin game. The incident sparked debate about whether such games should be banned. Some schools across Texas immediately prohibited the tradition.
I ain't gonna lie,
If you'd
bro.
like to
that
see
ain't
more
got
stories
shit
like
to do
this,
with that
make sure
tradition,
to
bro.
subscribe and
Rest
feel
in
free
peace
to
him,
drop
though, bro. I ain't
suggestions for
gonna
the
lie.
next.
Rest in peace to all these people, man. None of these people deserve to lose their life. None of that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This was a sad video, bro. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, Christmas Day. Hey, y'all gonna want to see that gaming video.